Good morning, everyone. Remember, this is our last day of our remedial work for 12.5. It is optional. However, if you want to do the retake, this must be fully completed before turning it in. Let's go ahead and get started with number 9. The first thing that I'm noticing is that I do not have common denominators. So I want to go ahead and make sure that my denominators are the same. To do that, I need to try to factor them first. Okay? So if I have the safety of parentheses around them, I need to try to factor them. So for the numerator, I'm going to keep it the same in my first fraction, and in my denominator, I'm going to try to factor this. Well, I ask myself, does x squared and 9 have anything in common or a GCF? No. However, they are a difference of two squares, meaning it's a difference, which means a subtraction problem, and x squared and 9 are perfect squares. So that means I can factor it. The square root of x squared is x. The square root of 9 is 3. And then I have a plus and a minus. Well, this looks pretty handy as I write my second fraction, 6 over x plus 3, because I notice that all I need to multiply the second fraction by is an x minus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, remember when you do this to distribute in the numerator. So I'm going to keep the same fraction for our first one. And I have a minus, and I'm going to do 6x. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18 over x plus 3, x minus 3. Great. Okay, now let's go ahead and make this one fraction. Make sure you pay super close attention to this minus and you take care of that. So I will have 2x squared minus 18 minus 6x. A negative times a negative is a positive, so this will be plus 18 all over x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay. And continuing on, I want to find any common terms or like terms. I have an x squared, no other x squareds. I have a negative 18 and a positive 18. Those are like terms because they're both numbers. And then I have a negative 6x. No other like terms for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and combine these. I'll have 2x squared minus 6x, and then those 18s are going, that negative 18 and positive 18 are going to divide out. So I have this over x plus 3, x minus 3. And we go ahead and move up here and rewrite this. My next step is to make sure that numerator is factored. Okay, so safety of parentheses around that numerator, and then let's go ahead and try to factor it. Okay, remember we always start looking for a GCF first. Do 2x squared and negative 6x have anything in common? Well, 2x is going to go into both of those, so I'm going to factor out a 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x will leave me with x, and negative 6x divided by 2x will leave me with negative 3. And again, this is all over x plus 3 and x minus 3. Now that I've factored my numerator, I can go ahead and see if anything is going to divide out. In this case, I have an x minus 3 and an x minus 3. Okay. Remember, this x right here is not going to divide out with this x because this one is in the safety of parentheses. Okay. So it looks like my final answer should be 2x over x plus 3. Double checking to make sure nothing else is going to divide out, and it does not, so that should be your final answer. Go ahead and try number 10. It is very similar, and then double check your answer. If you did not get 3x over x plus 5, go ahead and double check your work or ask your teacher for help. We're finishing off with number 11 together. Okay, again, I notice I don't have common denominators, so I need to go ahead and fix that. Okay, well, if I have these in their safety of parentheses, because remember these are binomials, so that's automatically my first step. I see that the first fraction has an x plus 2 and the second one has x minus 7. Well, I need each of those in the other fraction. So what we're going to do is that we are going to multiply this first fraction by x minus 7 and my second fraction by x plus 2. Now when I do this, I need to be super careful in making sure I distribute. So let's be super careful as we rewrite this. So I'm going to do x times 2, which is 2x, and then negative 7 times 2, which is negative 14. And on the denominator, I'm going to keep this in factored form, so x minus 7 and x plus 2. In my second fraction, I have 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times 2, which is 6. And again, in my denominator, I'm going to keep this in factored form. Okay. Now I have common denominators, so I'm going to go ahead and write this as one fraction. So 2x minus 14 plus 3x plus 6 over x minus 7 and x plus 2. It's one fraction, so now I need to go ahead and combine any like terms. I have a 2x and a 3x, and I have a negative 14 and a positive 6. So I need to combine all of those. 2x and 3x will give me 5x, negative 14 and 6 will give me negative 8. In my denominator, I have x minus 7 and x plus 2. Okay. I need to go ahead and check and see if my numerator is going to factor out before I can call it. So if I have a safety of parentheses around my numerator, I'm going to go ahead and check this for greatest common factors first. 5x and 8 don't have anything in common, so that one doesn't work. It's not a difference of two squares because 5x is not a perfect square. And it only has two terms, so it is not a trinomial. So that means that this numerator is completely factored. And since nothing's going to divide out, this also means this will be my final answer. Go ahead and try number 12. It is very similar, and then double check your answer. Your answer for number 12 should be 7x minus 8 over x minus 4 and x plus 1. If you did not get this, go ahead and double check your work, and if you're still confused, reach out to your teacher for help. Now make sure this entire worksheet is turned in or else your retake will not be counted.